Listen to me. You can have dreams, you can have goals, you can have the vision of living in the big house, driving the car, running the business, but none of it, I repeat, none of it will ever come true without one thing: discipline. Discipline is the master key. It unlocks every single door that leads to success. Now hear me, some of you are addicted to motivation. You watch videos, you get hyped, you feel like you can conquer the world. And then what? 2 days later, you're back on the couch, back scrolling your phone, back wasting time. Why? Because you were relying on feelings. And feelings will betray you. Feelings will lie to you. Feelings will tell you to sleep when it's time to grind. Feelings will tell you to quit when it's time to push. Feelings will convince you that you're not ready, that you're not good enough. But discipline? Discipline doesn't care about your feelings. Discipline doesn't care if you're tired. Discipline doesn't care if you're broke. Discipline doesn't care if it's raining outside, if you're stressed, or if you don't feel like it. Discipline says, get up. Do it anyway. Stay consistent. Stay focused. That's why most people fail, because they live their lives based on what they feel, instead of what they committed to. I'm here to tell you today, if you want to rise, if you want to go from zero to greatness, if you want to break every chain holding you back, you must become a disciplined soldier in your own life. Discipline is what separates winners from losers. It's what separates legends from excuses. It's what separates the dreamers from the doers. Every great person you admire, they didn't just have talent. They didn't just have luck. They didn't just have opportunity. They had discipline. They showed up every single day, no matter what. And you know what? You can too. You don't have to be rich to be disciplined. You don't have to be famous to be disciplined. You don't need permission, you don't need approval, you don't need somebody clapping for you. All you need is a decision. A decision that says, no matter how I feel, no matter what happens, I will stay committed. Today is the day you stop chasing motivation and start building discipline. Because discipline is the fire that will burn long after motivation dies out. Section 2, what is discipline? Let's break it down. Because some of you think discipline is punishment. Some of you think discipline is suffering. Some of you think discipline is boring, painful, a cage that takes away your freedom. You got it twisted. Discipline is not a prison. Discipline is the passport. Discipline doesn't take away your freedom, it gives you freedom. Listen carefully. Discipline is saying no to short-term comfort so you can say yes to long-term greatness. Discipline is choosing what you want most, over what you want now. Discipline is doing the thing you said you would do, long after the mood you said it in has left you. That's it. That's the definition. You know what discipline really is? It's self-respect. It's telling yourself, I matter enough to keep the promises I make to myself. Some of you keep promises to everybody else, your boss, your friends, your family. But when it comes to you, you quit on yourself. You break your own word. You hit snooze. You push things off. You say, I'll do it tomorrow. That's not discipline. That's self-betrayal. Discipline means your word is law. When you tell yourself you're going to wake up at 5 a.m., guess what? You wake up at 5 a.m. Not 5:30. Not, maybe. Not, if I feel good. You do it because you said you would. Discipline is training your body, your mind, your emotions to obey your mission, not your mood. Think about an athlete. They don't practice only when they feel like it. They practice every day, rain or shine. Why? Because discipline builds skill. Skill builds confidence. Confidence builds greatness. Think about a student. They don't only study when it's fun. They sit down, even when they're tired, even when it's boring, because discipline builds knowledge. Knowledge builds opportunity. Opportunity builds success. Think about your own life. Every time you've been disciplined, you got stronger. Every time you kept going, you got better. And every time you quit, you got weaker. Discipline is a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. The less you use it, the weaker it gets. And here's the truth, you already know how to be disciplined. You wake up for your job on time because you know you'll get fired. You show up for people you care about because you don't want to disappoint them. The problem is, you don't give yourself the same respect. You let yourself slide. You let yourself off the hook. You treat yourself like you don't matter. But greatness requires a different standard. If you want to go from zero to greatness, you must hold yourself to the highest level of discipline. Not sometimes. Not when it's easy. Every single day. Because discipline is not what you do once. It's what you do always. Discipline is not an act. It's an identity. You don't do discipline, you become disciplined. And once you become that person, no setback, no failure, no storm can stop you. Section 3, Motivation versus Discipline. Listen to me, motivation is like a spark. It feels good, it gets you started, but it doesn't last. Discipline? Discipline is the engine. It keeps you moving when the fire dies out. Some of you are living off motivation. You scroll Instagram, you watch motivational clips, you pump yourself up for 5 minutes, and then what? You crash. You lose steam. You quit. Motivation is temporary. Discipline is permanent. Let me explain. When you're motivated, you go to the gym once. When you're disciplined, you go every single day, even when you don't feel like it. When you're motivated, you start the business. When you're disciplined, you keep grinding when sales are slow, when nobody's buying, when everybody doubts you. When you're motivated, you study for one test. When you're disciplined, you study every day and become a master in your field. Motivation is about feelings. Discipline is about decisions. Motivation says, I feel like doing it. Discipline says, I do it whether I feel like it or not. Motivation is external, it depends on the video you watch, the speech you hear, the people around you. Discipline is internal, it lives inside you. You don't need a YouTube video, you don't need applause, you don't need permission. You move because that's who you are. Let me tell you something, if you depend on motivation, you will fail. Because life will hit you. Pain will come. Distractions will come. Laziness will come. Motivation won't save you. But discipline? Discipline is armor. It protects you. When the alarm clock rings at 5 a.m., motivation says, I'm tired. Discipline says, get up. We got work to do. When temptation shows up, fast food, Netflix, scrolling, wasting time, motivation says, just a little won't hurt. Discipline says, not today. I have bigger goals. When you're exhausted, when you feel like quitting, motivation disappears. Discipline whispers, keep going. One more step. Don't stop now. Motivation is hype. Discipline is habit. Think about a soldier. They don't ask, am I motivated today? No. They wake up, they train, they execute, because that's what soldiers do. That's discipline. Think about the greats, Kobe Bryant, Muhammad Ali, Serena Williams, Elon Musk. Were they always motivated? No. They were disciplined. They had habits. They had routines. They kept going when nobody was watching. Muhammad Ali once said, I hated every minute of training. But I said, don't quit. Suffer now and live the rest of your life as a champion. That's not motivation. That's discipline. And here's the truth, if you build your life on motivation, you'll always be inconsistent. You'll always be up and down. You'll always start and stop. But if you build your life on discipline, you'll always move forward. Slow, steady, strong. Discipline is the difference between people who dream and people who achieve. Everybody's motivated on January 1st. That's why the gyms are full. But come February? Empty. Motivation died. Only the disciplined are left. So here's the question, do you want to be a starter or a finisher? Do you want to be a dreamer or a doer? Do you want to live off feelings or live off principles? Because motivation is a feeling. Discipline is a principle. And principles don't change. Motivation gets you to the starting line. Discipline gets you to the finish line. That's why the greats separate themselves. The average person is motivated for a week. The disciplined person keeps going for years. So today, I'm challenging you, stop chasing motivation. Build discipline. Don't wait to feel ready. Don't wait to feel inspired. Decide. Lock in. Move. Every single day. Because in the end, it's not about motivation versus discipline. It's about this. Motivation is what gets you going. Discipline is what keeps you growing. And greatness only belongs to the disciplined. Section 4, Stories of Legends, is almost equal to 1,000 plus words. Discipline isn't just theory. It's real. It's the invisible thread that ties every success story together. When you study the greats, athletes, entrepreneurs, leaders, you'll see one common factor: they mastered discipline. Let me paint some pictures for you. 1. Kobe Bryant, the Black Mamba mentality. Kobe Bryant wasn't just talented, he was disciplined beyond imagination. He used to wake up at 4 a.m. While other players were sleeping, Kobe was already in the gym, shooting hundreds of free throws, working on footwork, sweating, bleeding, perfecting. One of his teammates once said, "I showed up to practice 2 hours early thinking I'd impress Kobe. But when I got there, he was already drenched in sweat. He had been practicing for hours. And when I left after practice, he was still in the gym." That's not motivation. That's not hype. That's discipline. Kobe knew, talent is nothing without discipline. And that's why when the game was on the line, he delivered. Because his preparation was disciplined. 2. Serena Williams, the relentless champion. Serena Williams didn't become one of the greatest tennis players by luck. She trained when her body hurt, when the media doubted her, when critics tried to break her confidence. Her father used to wake her up early, make her run, make her practice on broken courts. And she kept at it, day after day, year after year. Serena once said, "Luck has nothing to do with it, because I have spent countless hours on the court, working for my one moment." That's discipline. The countless hours nobody sees. The discipline to push through pain, to keep showing up, to keep grinding. Muhammad Ali, training in pain. Ali is remembered not just for his fights, but for his discipline. He said, "I hated every minute of training. But I said, don't quit. Suffer now and live the rest of your life as a champion." Ali understood, discipline hurts in the moment. But regret hurts forever. He ran in the dark when nobody was watching. He trained his body and mind to endure. That's why in the ring, when opponents quit, Ali stood tall. Discipline made him the greatest. 4. Elon Musk, work beyond limits. People admire Elon Musk for Tesla, SpaceX, PayPal. But behind those companies was discipline at a level most people can't imagine. When Tesla was on the edge of bankruptcy, when SpaceX rockets kept failing, when everyone told him to quit, Musk didn't stop. He slept in the factory. He worked 18-hour days. He reinvested every penny. That's not motivation. That's discipline. The discipline to keep working when the world doubts you. Now people call him a genius. But what they don't see is the disciplined grind behind the genius. 5. Military discipline, the soldier's edge. Look at a soldier. They don't live on motivation. They live on discipline. They wake up at 5 a.m. They run, they train, they execute. Rain, snow, exhaustion, it doesn't matter. Because discipline in the military isn't optional, it's survival. And that's the truth about life. If you want to survive setbacks, if you want to win battles, discipline is non-negotiable. 6. Ordinary people, extraordinary discipline. It's not just superstars. Even ordinary people achieve extraordinary things through discipline. The single mother who works 2 jobs and still studies at night, that's discipline. The student who studies every day for years to become a doctor, that's discipline. The man who loses 100 pounds not by crash diets, but by disciplined daily habits, that's discipline. Discipline is not about being gifted. It's about being consistent. The thread that connects them all. So what do Kobe, Serena, Ali, Musk, soldiers, and ordinary fighters have in common? Not luck. Not motivation. Not talent alone. Discipline. The discipline to wake up early. The discipline to work when tired. The discipline to push past fear. The discipline to show up every single day. That's the secret. That's the formula. That's the key. Your turn. So ask yourself, what's your Kobe gym? What's your Serena court? What's your Ali training camp? Where do you need to apply discipline in your life? Is it your health? Your studies? Your business? Your relationships? Because here's the truth, without discipline, your dream is just a wish. But with discipline, your dream becomes inevitable. The legends weren't born different. They decided. They locked in. They committed. And you can too.